What's good? What's good? This is like my fourth attempt on making a video, but I think it's going to be futile to cover the subject I wanted to cover, which was a continuation of discussing why men just don't talk about their feelings. But I'll have to remake that one or just try again later. I'm going to hit a different subject today. I don't quite know what the title is going to be because the first thought I had was very everything I say is controversial, but feds, federal agents, and you could even include like local police into that, just all the people who support the authoritarian administrative state, feds, are not humans. Probably won't title it that, and I don't exactly feel that way, but there does need to be, in my opinion, a discussion around the desensitization of potential violence that may be necessary to enact against authoritarians in a self-defense capacity. I think I said that right. I really hope this video turns out because I think that was the right way to say it. I often say I do not relish the thought of violence. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't arouse me. I'm not like the UFC type of guy. But I do know that violence is not inherently bad. It is often used for bad. But the violence to then defend the violence, that's good because you're trying to protect yourself, you're trying to save yourself. So violence can be a tool. Unfortunately, and all too often, it is used as a tool against the American people, against the world. Every country's dealing with their own level of authoritarianism. The globalists use different countries as petri dishes to try out various measures to see how things work. And then if things work really well, they try to scale and extrapolate to other countries. China and the social credit score is a great example. Because you know they're going to try to do that in America. Maybe not in 5 years, but within 10 to 15 years, if we don't wake the fuck up and start resisting, there is going to be a social credit score system. Who enforces the social credit score system? Who enforces, who maintains the violence within this authoritarian system? The feds. Very broad. Let's use that in the broadest possible way. The feds. Agents of the state. The state. Let's talk about that in the broadest possible way. The governmental apparatus that works in conjunction with the corporate overlords to create this fascistic environment we are living in. That is the state. Those are the oligarchs. Those are the elites. Those are the globalists. Not an anti-Semitic term. Very, 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 very few people will argue with you that the government and our corporations are colluding with one another to control the population. However, there are these culture wars that are so freaking effective at dividing people along stupid, superficial social lines that we cannot focus on the core problem. The state. The feds that enable the state. They are, in fact, human. But they are pieces of shit humans. And this is where, like, I live a very paradoxical existence. Because I do have compassion for them. But you can, at the same time, have compassion for your enemy. And that's truly the best way to enter war, because that gives you the greatest chance to reduce and limit the need for violence. Because if you have compassion for your enemy, you do not want to kill them. You do not want to harm them. But you know you might need to. That is a very sobering thought. People think I'm fucking crazy, but I think about this shit because they don't want to. But you're going to need to begin to start thinking about this shit. It's not left versus right, you all. It is top versus bottom. And they use the government and they use corporations to keep you in check. They use the feds as their thugs. The government is just a fucking mafia. You pay taxes so you don't get thrown in jail. You pay taxes so violence is not enacted against you. That's the fucking mafia. If an actual mobster were to confront you, would you be a bitch and pay up? Or would you stand up for yourself? That is the reality we are living in. Feds are thugs. Feds are mafia members. Now, what is the best, most compassionate thing you can do for them? And this is where my paradoxical positions come into play. You can re-employ them. These people, a large majority of them, I would say, are just brainwashed and fulfilling their base physiological needs before prioritizing the above psychological, moral, metaphysical implications of their actions, because they have created a system where we live in this reality with the perception of scarcity. We need to break that. The planet is abundant, so abundant in resources. We do not lack resources. We are dealing with a mechanism that is manipulating the resources. We have more than enough to support the planet. But when people centralize the resources, the government, and it's not left or right, let's get that straight. When people centralize and hoard the resources, and it's not capitalists either. It is the elitists, the globalists, the government agents who think they should be able to pull the strings and manipulate humanity. We're not a free nation. We're not a sovereign people. We have enemies all around us. And we must move forward, understanding that we have to simultaneously maintain compassion for them, but be ready for violence. How many of you men actually try to think about that? So many, I've lost so many dude friends because they put their heads in the sand, they took the blue pill, whatever. They're living in the Colosseum, bread and circus. It's so depressing that there are just so few men out there who truly are having these thoughts and who are trying to create action around the necessity of this reality. So feds are humans, but they're combatants. I like that. That'll be the title of the video. Feds are humans, but combatants. And we must deprogram. We must re-employ. We must give them better opportunities to truly serve their community. And the ones who resist, who don't want to stop supporting the state, well, they can fuck around and find out.